Hi my friends, the movie, which is based on a true story, tells the tale of Bidal, a legendary fighter who was once considered the strongest fighter in the world. The story starts in 1939, the year that Japan invaded Korea, and Bidal reads posts announcing that volunteers were needed for the Japanese Army's flight school. And this has been Bidal's dream since he was young. Bidal travels to Japan illegally, meets Matsu, and he goes to the same school. Upon arriving at the school, they learn that this whole thing was a fake, and they want them to perform suicide operation. They are apprehended them and restrained. As this is going on, there is an air strike and the planes fire on them. When some cops show up, they attempt to murder Matsu. However, Bidal becomes enraged and stands up for his friend. He strikes the soldier with a great force. When the officer in charge of them notices Bidal, he is impressed by his skills and challenges him to a duel, which sparks a furious fight. However, Bidal is not quite as strong as the Japanese commander. Even so, the Japanese commander is taken aback by Bidal's ability to beat him and becomes enraged and on the point of killing him, but he leaves him in the last moment and is allowing them to escape. As the days go by, we see Bidal and his friend carrying on their lives in Japan and working in a casino, and a group of criminals attacks them and robs money from Matsu, but Bidal steps in, defends his friend, and beats them all. However, because they are far more numerous than him, they beat Bidal and severely humiliate him. We also see that someone is observing the fight and interfering, and the gang leader makes fun of him, but this person hits the entire gang with great force. And we know that this person is Brandon, who was once Bidal's teacher, and he assists Bidal and Matsu and bringing them to his workplace, where he works as a security guard at a circus. Bidal asks him to teach him again because he wants to be strong like him. Brandon is happy with him and gives him a book to learn karate before beginning professional training with him. One day, Bidal sees a group of young men trying to assault a girl on the road and make love with her, and immediately Bidal beats them all and saves the girl, even though they were more numerous than him. The girl admires Bidal's skills so much and looks at him with love because he is her savior. But Bidal, the hero, is the savior of all girls who are assaulted by someone. Bidal becomes famous as the savior of the girls, but he also becomes wanted for justice. Then we witness a samurai soldier approaching Bidal and taking him to the Japanese officer who had challenged him to a duel a year ago. The officer compliments Bidal on his bravery and skills, saying that despite having studied karate since he was 5 years old, he is the first person who could touch him in a battle. Then Bidal leaves, and when he returns to his friend, he tells him what has happened with him, and Matsu informs him that he saw the gang approaching, shocking him so much that he runs instantly because he realizing that they were want revenge from his coach. And this is actually what's happening. The gang has begun fighting Brandon, and although Brandon defeats them, they were far more numerous than him. He battles them for a long time, but in the end, they can kill him. Bidal arrives later and discovers that his teacher has already passed away. Bidal becomes enraged and decides to get revenge by going to the gang with the circus group and fighting them. But the gang is stronger than them and wins. Bidal realizes that he needs intensive training. He takes his teacher's book, travels to a mountain to work out intensely there in order to become a hero fighter like his mentor, and we see that he has very wonderful skills. As the days pass, Bidal wants to prove that he is the strongest fighter. He visits a karate school, challenges every student there, and wins. He then defeats their coach and visits all the karate schools, defeating everyone there as well. Bidal then travels to other cities, challenges the player there, and wins every time. News News of Bidal's legendary status as the unbeatable fighter spreads through the newspapers. Later, we witness a Japanese officer accusing Bidal of being unprofessional and saying that his assistant Ayuma can defeat him. Ayuma prepares to fight and he challenges Bidal, and Bidal accepts and goes to fight him. And Ayuma is very professional and fast, and it will be a very difficult battle because Ayuma uses the sword and tries to injure Bidal, and Bidal fights him very professionally, and the two heroes deal a knockout blow to each other at the same time and lose consciousness. When morning arrives, Bidal is shocked to learn that Ayuma has died. The police take him to a jail, and we see him depressed because he doesn't want to kill anyone. We also see that the Japanese officer who is shocked that Bidal has defeated Ayuma. He goes to Bidal and tells him that I want you to challenge me in a battle to see the real fighting skills because my job is to preserve the Japanese martial arts. After that, they release Bidal because he was defending himself, and when he does, he goes directly to Ayuma's wife and apologizes for what happened. However, she is terrified of him and takes her son and enters the house. But we see Bidal remaining in front of the house until the morning. When Ayuma's wife emerges, she is startled by his presence. Bidal then hands her his karate uniform and promises not to leave until she forgives him. Later, we witness Ayuma's son being bullied by several boys on the street because he is an orphan. When Bidal tries to help the boys flee. Later, Ayuma's son asks Bidal to take him to a mountain where he can learn to fight. And Bidal does that and goes with the boy to the mountain and become very happy together. As the days go by, we witness Bidal assisting the family with all of their works, and he is very happy to live with them. When his friend Matsu arrives at him, he informs him that the Japanese officer wants to challenge him, and the newspaper are making up stories about him and Ayuma's wife. But he doesn't care about Ramos, and that he doesn't want to fight again. Matsu tries to get him to agree to fight again, but Bidal refuses. Ayuma's wife hears what they have to say, tells Bidal that the newspaper are lying and asking him to accept the challenge and beat everyone and beat the Japanese officer, and she gives him his karate uniform, and Bidal decides to fight. And the next day he wears a karate uniform and gets ready to defeat the general, and he gets to the place of the fight, and in the beginning he fights the general's men to reach him and be a really dangerous fighter and defeat them all. And finally, we reach the fight that we all waited for between the general and Bidal. And the general mocks Bidal and asking him, "Where do you want me to bury you after I kill you?" But Bidal is very serious and answers him, "Leave me under the sky." And the most beautiful fight starts between them, and great fighting and imaginative moves. And if you like karate, you should watch this battle. And Bidal controls the fight with high professionalism, and quickly he hits the general, and the general falls on his knees, and Bidal is about to deal a knockout blow, but he stops at the last second when he recalls Ayuma's passing. The Japanese officer is shocking by Bidal's morality and bravery and treats him with respect and courage. After Bidal overcoming the Japanese officer, Bidal proves that he is the strongest fighter. He then goes up against the bulls, defeating them and breaking their horns in one smooth stroke, proving that he is the strongest fighter. And the film concludes after we saw the most breathtaking fight scene. And that's where the movie ends. Please press like and subscribe to the channel to get new movie recaps. Miss Bombastic was with you. Goodbye, my friends, with my love.